Hi, I'm Gary, and welcome back to the galley. In the galley today, we are going to be talking about compound butters. Now, the reason I want to talk to you about compound butters because they are the perfect thing to keep in your refrigerator or keep in your freezer. And especially if you live on a boat and space is precious, a roll of compound butter will season your steaks, your chicken, your vegetables, so many things. They are so versatile. And as you can see, you can store them without taking up a lot of space. I have sun-dried tomato in here. And I like the sun-dried tomato. There's sun-dried tomatoes, garlic, shallots, parmesan, and a little thyme in here. And this is perfect for pasta. In the time it takes you to boil some pasta, you will have a pasta dish when you add some sun-dried tomato butter to your pasta. And dill. Now, the reason I keep dill right now this time of year because I love the dill butter for grilling my corn. It's great on grilled corn. Dill and corn are a nice match, and it's just dill, garlic, shallots. So dill one is the easy one to make, and it's great for your grilled corn. Now blue cheese, and I'm going to show you the color of my blue cheese butter, because the color of my blue cheese butter is, well, kind of purple. And you can just see this beautiful butter that we have here. And cut off a hunk of that. And this is perfect for your steaks. This is my absolute favorite thing to put on my steaks. And what you want to do is, when your steaks are finished cooking, as soon as you pull them off the grill to rest them, you want to put your butter on. And it's okay to leave your butter sit at room temperature for maybe 10 minutes, but you want your butter to have that little bit of chill on it. Because if your butter's really soft and at room temperature and you put it on your steak, it's just going to melt all the way and run all over the place. But if it's got that little bit of chill on it, it's going to sit there on top of your steak and just melt down into your steak. So the blue cheese butter, perfect for steaks. It's my favorite for steaks. Now the reason it's purple is I do some red wine reduction. And I take a cup of red wine and reduce it down till it is a tablespoon. And this was a cup of red wine that's now this thick, delicious red wine reduction. So in my blue cheese butter, I put that red wine reduction, a lot of blue cheese, a good 6 ounces of blue cheese, garlic, shallots, a little hot sauce, and you have blue cheese butter. Now these butters I can put in the freezer and they last well upwards of 6 months in the freezer. So they are perfect to keep in your freezer. Now this is a barbecue butter, and this one is again one that I like to use on grilled corn, or it's really good on a grilled pork chop or grilled chicken. And I just use my barbecue dust and mix it with my butter. Again, garlic and shallots. Love the garlic and the shallots. So we're going to make 2 butters today. And we're going to make the 2 that I think are the most versatile of the butters that have the absolute most uses for. So we pop these in the refrigerator and we'll get started. Now the best thing about making compound butters is this is all you need. A bowl and a nice stiff spatula, and that's all you need. Now, when you're using butters for your compound butters, you can go out and get these European style. Now, American butters are like your Land O'Lakes and your Lucerne. So the USDA is the one who regulates butter in the U.S. And to qualify to be butter in the U.S., you have to be 80% butter fat. That's the lowest butter fat that you can go to be butter, American butter. Now your European butters can run from 82% butter fat to 89% butter fat. And your Amish and butters usually are about 84%. So obviously, the higher the butter fat, the richer and the tastier your butter is going to be, because that difference is water. So if you're 80%, then you're 20% of your butter is water. So the more it's churned, the more butter fat that you get out of that butter, the richer it's going to be, the yellower it's going to get in color. Well, now these are expensive. So if you want to go out and spend the money on these really rich European high-fat butters, feel free to. But when these compound butters, I just kind of feel you've got so much going on here and so many other flavors. And as expensive as butter is, absolutely use your Land O'Lakes or whatever your favorite butter is. Now, Land O'Lakes and Tillamook, their butter fat is about 80.90, so they're almost 81%. And I think of the American butters, those are probably the two that's the highest of the butter fat. So these are not what I'm going to use today, and I am going to use unsalted. If you only have salted, feel free to use your salted butter. I like the unsalted because it allows me to control the amount of salt that I'm putting in. And whenever I make a compound butter, I always use 2 sticks, and that is just my standard for my compound butter is 2 sticks. And even if I'm making it for something specific, I go 2 sticks, and I'm okay if I have extra because, again, it's great to have in the refrigerator. So this first butter that we're going to make is herb butter. And herb butter, I think, is probably the most versatile of all of the different butters. So of our herbs, we have parsley, oregano, rosemary, thyme, and basil. And we're going to do a full tablespoon of each one. Now, I think thyme is called thyme because it takes so much time to pick all those little leaves off. It's never as easy as just rolling your hands down it. So, in with our herbs we go. And herb butter, you can use it for steaks. You can use it for pork, chicken, fish. You can saute your vegetables in it. Or if you steam some vegetables, put some of your herb butter on it to flavor it. You can use it in your pasta. You can use it in your rice. If you're making a casserole, you can substitute your herb butter for your normal butter. Now we've got a nice big heaping teaspoon of really finely minced garlic and a great big tablespoon of finely chopped shallots. Now, this butter, you can also use it to make your croutons. You can spread it on your hamburger bun and give it a light grill before you put your hamburger on it. You can use it to scramble your eggs in. So it is just the most versatile of all of the butters. And what I've also got is a nice big tablespoonful of a spicy brown mustard, a Dijon or something spicy brown. And I'm going to give this a little of hot sauce. Use your favorite. Cholula is mine. And just a little bit of Worcestershire. Not too much, it can get really strong. And I'm going to go with my 5-blend pepper blend. Just give it a good few turns, and I'm not going to be afraid of my kosher salt. And this is especially because this is unsalted. This was salted butter. I'd use a little less, but I'm going to go we'll make it 3 good pinches of salt. So another thing that these compound butters are great for is given as a hostess gift if you're going to somebody's home and maybe writing down some recipes to go with them so they make a nice little gift. So, and that's it. Once everything is in here and it's mixed up well, you have yourself a compound butter. Now, you might not have to do all of these herbs. Maybe you have a bunch of rosemary in your garden and you just want to do some rosemary to use up all that rosemary, or basil, or you could just do basil, parmesan, garlic, and make a pesto butter. So it's endless. The ideas are endless for what you can do for these butters. But again, we're doing the herb because we are going to have the most uses out of that. Now you can wrap this in cellophane, and if you choose to go the cellophane route, then I advise you to do a double, do 2, because it does make it easier. It doesn't tear on you. It just makes it a little stronger. I don't like wrestling with the cellophane. I like doing it on my parchment paper. So I'm going to bring you down here and let you see how I'll roll this up. So once you've got your parchment paper laid out towards the end, scoop it out and get it all out. You don't want to waste any of that beautiful butter. And I just try to make it as even as possible across there in somewhat of a log shape. And then we're just going to pick our end up and we're going to roll, roll, and roll again. And now we can use our hands to push it in and form it into a log. So just roll and tuck. This is the roll and tuck. And this like that. And then you want to twist your ends. And I like to take a little twine and just tie the ends. Just makes me feel secure, that they are secure. And then the good thing about the parchment paper is then you can write on it. So now I'm going to know when I go to the refrigerator that this is my herb butter. And when you put them in your refrigerator or you put them in your freezer, make sure that you put them in a Ziploc bag as well, because butters are like little sponges and they will absorb all of the odors from your refrigerator. If you've got seafood in there, your butters are going to absorb that taste. So wrap them up either in plastic wrap or parchment paper and then into a Ziploc bag. So now on to our second one. And this one is a sweet one. So we went from savory to sweet with our butters. And this butter has a lot of uses as well. You can put this on waffles, pancakes. I love to put it on oatmeal for Billy. He loves oatmeal, and it's cooked oatmeal, and pop a hunk of this butter on it, and it is fantastic. It's also good on a baked sweet potato. You can take peaches, cut them in half and grill them, and then put this butter on top for a really quick and tasty dessert, especially in the summertime when peaches are so lovely and fresh. You can pop fresh popcorn and melt this butter and drizzle it over it for another sweet popcorn treat, or just toast or English muffins. So this one as well has a lot of uses. It's very versatile as well. So I've got my 2 sticks of unsalted butter. I took a half of a cup of pecans, toasted them up in a skillet with just a little bit of butter. You don't have to do that. I just think it adds to the flavor. And then I chopped them up really fine. And my beautiful friend Laura, who went up to New Hampshire, where she is from, and brought me back this jug of fantastic fresh maple syrup. And I'm going to do a whole half a cup of maple syrup. This is going to be pecan maple syrup compound butter. Now, if you like, feel free to stop right here and just have your pecans and your maple syrup. But I'm going to go a little bit further, and I'm going to do a quarter of a teaspoon of cinnamon. And you could go less. You could go 1/8 of a teaspoon of cinnamon. You know, it can get strong and overpowering. And I'm going to do a half of a teaspoon of vanilla. And if you remember, a cap on the vanilla is a teaspoon, so I'm going to do a half a cap. Just a little bit of vanilla, just to add a little something. And just a pinch of salt to help bring all those flavors to life. And now I have this beautiful maple pecan butter that I can keep in the freezer, and it is perfect for guests that you didn't know were coming, and you can just get up in the morning and make them some pancakes and put this butter on it, and they'll think that you slaved away on it, but you really just pulled it out of the refrigerator. Or just enjoy your toast in the morning with this on it. So once we get this all mixed up, just like that, we've made our butter, and we're going to roll it up into our parchment paper and pop it in the refrigerator. So as you can see, it's really easy to make compound butters, and I was making the barbecue and the dill butter the other day because this time of year it is time for sweet corn, and we just love grilled sweet corn. It's quick, it's easy, it's delicious. It's probably one of our favorite ways to have corn, and that got me thinking about compound butters, and so I wanted to share that with you. Now, obviously, butters get bigger or depending on what all that you put in it. And I think this one got a little bigger than I anticipated. So I am going to move it to another piece of parchment and do it long way instead of short way. Otherwise, I don't think I'll be able to do it. Now you could do this with molasses too. You could put some molasses in there. This is probably could stand to have a little bit more mixing, but we're just going to do it like it is and roll it. And we're going to do the tuck and roll. That maple syrup made this one soft, so it's going to benefit from being in the refrigerator and getting solid. And it's like you're making these little candies. So I know that maple pecan looked really soft, but this is one that I made earlier, and I'll just show you. Once you chill it back down, you get this beautiful log of butter that you can cut into chunks and top all of your favorite desserts with your maple pecan butter. So I hope that I have inspired you today to make some compound butters. Keep them in your refrigerator. It is a perfect thing to have in there, especially in the summer, although they're good all year long. But in the summer, we do a whole lot of grilling. So if you just come home from a busy day, you want to throw some chicken breast on the grill, and then you have this butter in the refrigerator, and it's instant meal. This chicken topped with this beautiful butter that you have made, or steam you some vegetables, and on they go, and you don't have to make a lot of sauces and take a lot of time. So make some compound butter, and we will be back in a couple days for some grilled corn and yet another butter that I especially like on my grilled corn. Out of the links I'm going to put in the description so you can find the recipe for all my ideas for compound butters over at the website, Gary's Galley. So until next time, safe cruising.